Tyshawn Milam, are you ready for some football?
What? Did you hear that? That was new East Wake varsity quarterback Tyshawn Milam, and he was asking, are you ready for some football? Well, if he was asking me, and I think he kind of was, I am ready. We're 72 hours away from the start of the 2016 season, and the sign of the times here at East Wake is they're always ready for some football. We're talking about a program that's got a long-term coach in place. They've been to the playoffs. They've even been to the Eastern Conference Finals in their history. They're always looking to go. They know what it takes to get there. They know what it takes to get back. So we're going to look and see, is this 2016 version a payoff team? We'll see. We've looked at the 7-on-7. We've seen them in the weight room. We've seen them out on regular practice field, and we're going to talk to a couple of coaches. And they're going to let us an insight on, are we ready to roll? Well, here in Warrior Country, I think they are. This is Don Fuller. It's Full Focus on Football, and we're at East Wake. I'm standing here with Dan Carter, assistant coach with the East Wake football program. Now, me and Dan have been friends for a lot of years now. Go golfing together. Dan is with me today because I wanted to introduce you to him because he's going to be working with me during the fall when we start our football program. Dan's going to bring a lot of everything to the program. Dan, you've been with East Wake for 5 years now?
Yes, about 5 years.
Now, how long? What have you seen the changes going on? Because I mean, 5 years ago it was in a transition. Now, how has it changed, and how has it changed for the better?
I think we went from a smash mouth type of football team with Coach Jimmy Williams, great coach, great staff.
Right.
And we've transitioned over to more of a run and gun type team, athletic quarterbacks, receivers, tearing you up down the field, spreading you out, and then a smash mouth defense that likes to stop everything.
Right.
And we've proven that against some great teams over the past few years.
Now, this is a guy who knows about gunning and throwing it all over the field. You were a quarterback in Florida. There's been some big names behind you. I think you played in front of a couple of big names that went on to Florida State and everything. A big Seminoles fan. If you want to talk football, you want to talk Seminoles, find this guy, talk to him. What can we expect from this season? We've had to replace a lot of offense. How do we do that?
Well, we got guys that have been in the program for a few years. They're going to be stepping into key roles this year, and that's what you try to do as a coach, is grow your players and be ready to step in, because inevitability of aging and graduation and different things like that, moving on in life, choosing different things to do. So we mentor our kids to be ready to step into that role, and I think this year is going to be a big transition year for us. The scheme's going to change a little bit with the athletes that we have.
Right.
Not saying that they're bad athletes, just different kinds of athletes, both sides of the ball. So we got some changes to make, but that's what the summer's all about, and we're ready to get going.
Now, today we're standing out here right before the 7-on-7 contest. What are you looking for to get accomplished in a 7-on-7?
Learn our offense and get our defense to start reading their keys and seeing where they need to be, how they need to make their shifts, communicate with each other, and just become a team.
Mm-hmm. Now, and this is also a bonding experience for the players and the coaches. You don't have all the pressure. We're going to be back in August, and when we get back in August, we're going to be able to feel that pressure a lot. Right now, it's a little bit laid back. It's like being at the beach for all you guys, just trying to learn each other. Do you enjoy the camaraderie you build with these players?
I do, and I think each player needs to learn to enjoy the time he has out here as well. And if you're out here and you're not thinking about here, you're thinking about the beach, maybe you need to think about being at the beach and not being out here.
I got you.
Because this place right behind me is for football, and that's all it's for. It's summertime, but when we come back on August 1st, you better have your mind, body, and spirit ready for some East Wake Smash Mouth football.
And this is the guy that we talk a whole lot about. Both of us enjoyed our high school careers, and it's over just like that. And that's one of the things you've really got to get these kids to realize, that you're not going to be doing this forever.
Yeah, I mean, there's a small number of kids that get to be student athletes in the NCAA, no matter what level it is, and the numbers are very small that come out of each school all over the country. And to have a few each year to go on to play is great, but these kids, 90% of them, 95% of them got to know that they're not moving on from here. This is it. You need to do your best right now and get ready for your career, whatever it may be, as a student athlete.
And exactly. So, but what you'll role is, you out here and you and the other rest of the coaches, is to make sure that these guys don't just grow up to be good athletes. We're trying to set people out on their course. If they're not going back into football once they get out of these halls, we want them to be good citizens.
Yeah, we talk about that every day. We talk about there's only one thing in the school, and that's classrooms. Other things are ways to get to those classrooms. They're not made for anything else. Hallways are not for congregating. They're called hallways for a reason. Classroom is where you need to be. Forget about hallway is just a passageway, one passageway into a classroom that's going to lead to future endeavors.
One of the perks of having this guy being a regular contributor to me on the show that's coming up is I get to hang out with him more. And you're going to love hanging out with him too, because he's going to bring a lot of knowledge, and he's going to bring a lot of wit, and he's going to bring a lot of insight into what we've got going on. Dan, looking forward to it, man.
Could be some humor involved too.
Could be. Thanks, man. Not quite that time, but I got it the other 9 times straight. I just didn't have the camera running. You just had to take my word for it. You also had to take my word for it that even though this goal post at this point is not in my reach, the goals of the East Wake football program definitely are. They always are. The Warriors are going to be a contender. They're reloading with a quality coaching staff, an experienced coaching staff. They're loading with young talent. Now, graduation has had a big effect on the roster. There's no doubt about that. But these guys are always thinking, we've been there, we can get back. As we've seen, as we've talked with John Polnott and Dan Carter, and we've seen on the practice field, they're ready to roll. Now, I've enjoyed going to all 3 of the teams, Rolesville, Knightdale, East Wake. We're going to follow them as the course of the season goes, and I hope you enjoyed it too. I'm Don Fuller. This is Fuller Focus. We've been at East Wake.